gorgeous and
You mentioned the weight difference there. This fight was obviously supposed to be at 135, and then the day of the weigh-ins, we find out it's 140. What exactly happened? Why was this moved up to 140?
yeah, actually, I was in the morning, the day of weigh-ins, and I have just 1 pound left to cut. I was already cutting that pound. And we received a call from her team saying that she was still 142 and she didn't even knew if she was going to make it to 140. So I stopped my weight cut. She asked for a catch weight in 140, but they didn't even knew if she was going to make it to 140. So I stopped my weight cut and recovered a little, just half a pound. And we decided to take the catch weight, and I didn't want to keep cutting, so wouldn't give her that much of an advantage in the weight. Still, she was heavier than me, much heavier than me.
Was there any thought in not taking the fight, considering she was so heavy on Friday?
Sorry.
Was there any thought in not taking the fight, given that you were 1 pound away and she was still so heavy?
Yeah, we discussed it for a while with my team. We should take it, we're not. But we said, let's do it. Let's do it. We're here to take challenges. This is one more challenge. This is one more day in the gym. You're always training, my coach said, you're always training with heavier guys in the gym. All your teammates, all your sparring teammates are heavier than you, so you're ready for this. This is why I train you. You're made for this.
Did the UFC give you any more compensation, like money or anything like that, to take this fight, or was it just your same contract?
No, just was my contract and no compensation. But I'm just glad I was able to make it. I didn't want to cancel the fight.
And then this win, obviously, you're back in the win column again in the bantamweight division. Well, it was a catch weight, but you are ranked bantamweight. So what do you want next for your career moving forward for the rest of the year?
Well, I'm open to whoever the UFC wants me, but I'll obviously chasing the title fight. I'm ready for a title fight. If it's that the next step, I'm ready.
Irene, felicidades. My first question, just because it took a year, more than a year, to get back in the cage, how important was it to really get that ring rust out during your training camp?
There wasn't any ring rust. It didn't feel like it was 1 year off because I was always training. Actually, I was supposed to fight Germain in November 2021. Then that fight was supposed to be rescheduled, I think, in March, and it got off again. Then I was supposed to fight Aspen that I injured and well, it couldn't happen. Then I was preparing for this fight. So I was always in training camp. And my training camp is always like if I'm fighting. So it didn't feel that way. Actually, I was so happy to be here.
Most people would say for Amanda Nunes, it's between you and Ketlin Vieira. You obviously have the win over Ketlin. I guess, when would you want that fight? Because it feels like out of everybody, you have this benefit that the calendar works now. You guys are both on the same timetable.
Yeah, for sure. I think the way I won to Ketlin Vieira, it was clear. It was a clear victory, a dominant victory against her. So I think it's my turn. If the thing is she or me, I think I deserve the title, but it's the UFC who make the decision. I respect that, and I don't want to sit and wait. I would like to always be working, but if the title is next, I'm ready.
In recent weeks, it feels like there's just a lot more support behind the Mexican fighters specifically, and now you add to it, obviously your teammate Alexa Grasso is an important fight in about a month. Just what does it feel like, one, to have a teammate who's also right there with you with title hopes, and then secondly, just as a whole, the Mexican fighters having a moment once again in UFC?
It's great. It's great to see Mexicans stand up like this. We are getting noticed even more with time. The new talents who are coming, the ones that we have a while being here, Alexa, Jair, Brandon, and we are not in the same teams, in the same gyms, but it feels like we are teammates when we are together in the cards and we share this in the UFC. I'm really proud of them and of Mexico, and obviously Alexa, she's been like my little sister since day one. So I'm pretty glad that our careers have been like in the same way all this time. So she's going to do great in her next fight, and I'm sure she's close to the title too.
Now that you won the fight and you get more money, are you gonna buy a new cat?
I don't buy my cats. I adopt my cats. I would love to buy them a big jar, a bigger jar.
Congratulations.
Your attitude, you're right. Right down. You said that you didn't receive additional compensation for taking the catch weight. Did your team not attempt to make that negotiation, or were you told that that was not available?
No, the way it works is if I would make my 136 weigh-in, and she was heavier, I will get a compensation. But the way it works, if I accept the catch weight, they don't need to give me a compensation. I think that was okay, because if I made 135 or 136 and she was heavier than that, she was heavier than 140, the fight won't be able to make it because of the commission. So I'd rather to take the fight that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Irene, felicidades con el triunfo. Antes de que otra cosa suceda, felicidades, te viste tremenda.
Gracias.
Habías mencionado de patria mexicana y que ya mero es la independencia. Poder ganar por ese knockout fue como un estilo gancho al hígado como Chávez. Qué orgullo te da poder finalizar a tu oponente en una pelea que fue fantástica y llena de acción.
Pelear en el mes de septiembre es una motivación extra para mí, es un orgullo poder representar a México, mi bandera más en el mes de septiembre. Finalizar la pelea al estilo Chávez, adaptado al MMA, en este caso pues siendo una patada al hígado, pues el golpe al hígado es uno de mis golpes favoritos, pues me da muchísimo orgullo y me siento muy contenta de haberlo logrado.
Y explíquenos, por favor, porque es la primera vez en la historia del octágono que vemos ese tipo de golpe. Lo pudiste ejecutar perfectamente. ¿Lo entrenaste? ¿Cómo viste que tenías esa opción? ¿Algo que vieron cuando estaban estudiando a Macy?
No, esa patada siempre la hemos entrenado desde hace muchísimos años. Siempre es una opción que estando en el piso, estando de espaldas, es una opción. En ese momento no lo pensé estratégicamente paso por paso, simplemente el entrenamiento salió por sí solo, salió el engrama de mi cuerpo, salió todos estos años de practicarlo, salió solito y pues bueno, se dio y se dio perfecto.
Gracias. Hubo más énfasis porque no somos jueces, pero el primer asalto fue tuyo, te lo llevaste sin problema, casi la sometes con la palanca de brazo.
Sí.
El segundo fue un poquito más difícil, pero tu esquina, ¿qué te dijo? Hey, ¿necesitamos o no te preocupes? ¿Cuál era la plática?
Sí, me fueron guiando perfectamente todos mis entrenadores. Tengo mi entrenador de lucha, mis entrenadores, compañeros de striking. Me fueron guiando de la manera más correcta porque tenía ella una ventaja significativa de peso. Entonces yo estando en el piso sí la sentí muchísimo más pesada. Entonces tuve que mantenerme tranquila, seguir sus instrucciones paso por paso para poderme salir del problema. Primero no ser sometida y después regresar a mi juego de pie. Yo sabía que si abría ese espacio y podía pararme, podía yo regresar a mi juego de pie. Ya me estaba sintiendo más cómoda y creo que si se hubiera regresado a la pelea al striking lo hubiera encontrado mejor.
Fantástico. Y finalmente, ahorita es un momento muy lindo en los de los combates. Brandon, obviamente campeón. En una semana aquí vamos a ver a Saúl defender sus títulos. ¿Cómo se siente ser parte de la historia y poder llevarlo al próximo nivel representando tu bandera y a las mujeres peleadoras y a todos en el octágono?
Sí, poder representar a mi bandera, a mi cultura, a mi gente en esta plataforma para mí es algo muy grande, me hace sentir muy contenta. Como lo menciono más en este mes, yo siempre he defendido mucho el hecho de ser 100% mexicana, hecha en un gimnasio 100% mexicano. Desde el primer día que pedí informes en ese gimnasio que iba yo a entrar solo como una clase de hobby, y después esto se transformó a ser toda mi carrera. Desde ese día, desde el primer día hasta ahorita he estado en un gimnasio 100% mexicano con entrenadores mexicanos y eso me hace sentir muy orgullosa y pues bueno, compartir esto con más atletas, más talentos mexicanos como lo son Jair, Brandon, Alexa y todos los demás, pues bueno, quiere decir que estamos haciendo las cosas bien en México.
pues qué buena suerte nos tocó que encontraste este hobby. Felicidades.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Very good? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, the attendance was 19,125, 25th consecutive sellout. The gate was 5.67 million. The bonuses went to Almeida, Walker, Aldana, and Diaz. They all won $50,000.
Dana, to your left. John Kavanaugh put out, did you see the tweet that he put out before I asked you about the fight? He said that he and Johnny Walker were forced to leave the arena. Johnny had no shoes on. They weren't allowed to stay, watch the fights or anything. Do you know what went on?
I don't. Lene just told me a little bit about it before we walked in here. I guess ever since COVID, they started this thing where they get the fighters right out of here. I don't know why that happened or what happened. I mean, we're not throwing Johnny Walker out in the street shoeless, I'm sure.
There was a picture of him with no shoes on leaving the arena.
We fucking threw him right out in the streets, huh?
Yes, apparently.
It's rough around here.
So,
I don't know.
anyways, can you comment on Nate's performance and what you thought of the way he rose up in his final fight and not only boxed so well like everybody knew he could do, but then get to submission on a guy like Tony?
Yeah. I mean, he's so durable and so tough. And, you know, literally, we went, I don't know if you guys have monitors over there, but we went, or you can hear what's going on, but we went into their corner, Tony's corner that round, and his corner, for some reason, told him to take him down. Said, take him down. He was chopping that leg. He kept kicking that front leg, obviously doing damage. His corner told him to take him down, and Nate capitalized on that the minute he did it.
Did you feel like Tony and Nate delivered the fight you expected? Was that kind of what you thought they would do?
Yeah, I think so. You know what I mean? Listen, they're both older guys that have been around here for a long time, and it was what I expected.
What do you make of what Nate said, that he's open to a return to the UFC? Obviously, he said he's going to do something else, but open to a return down the road. I mean, obviously he's 37 now.
No matter what Nate does from here on out, I mean, the kid, this is his house. He's been here forever. It's been a blast having him here, and I wish him well. He and I had this discussion months ago at the offices. Whatever he moves on to do, I wish him nothing but the best. If he's starting his own organization or, getting into promoting or doing something else, I wish him nothing but the best of luck. It's been awesome having him here.
Two other questions for me. Obviously, people pretty much expected Khamzat to do what he did, especially given short notice and Kevin couldn't train for the wrestling.
I don't know if anybody expected him to do exactly what he did. You don't know what to expect from that guy. For him to go out, and this is like his fourth fight that he's never even taken a punch. He's an absolute fucking freak of nature, and I don't think anybody expected that, especially against Kevin, who's 6'2". I don't know if anybody to say that somebody expected that. There's no fucking way people expect.
Well, I tweeted
I didn't
he went by
expect
first
that.
round, so. But I had picked him in the first round. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The question was, Khamzat kind of, he messed up the show. He misses weight. He's unapologetic for missing the weight. And like Joe asked him in the cage, like, how do you put him in a title fight if he misses weight by 8.5 pounds? So what's your reaction to it? I know you're generally pretty lenient on those things.
What was the question? What
is your reaction to putting him in a title fight at some point if he's missing weight by 8.5 pounds?
Yeah, no, it's his problem. Yeah, it's a problem that he missed weight. I don't know. We gotta look at it and figure it out. And what makes sense is for him to fight at 180. So we'll see. Yeah.
Dana, just how hard was it to react to yesterday and to get these fights reshuffled and everything? You've been through a lot of stuff with the company and being able to react, but how crazy was yesterday?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was crazy, but, you know, if you think about it, 22 years we've been doing this, however fucking long we've been doing it, you know, it's what we do. We've always, we had that one year where the main event fell off. What is this, a MASH unit? What's going on around here? This is crazy. What are we in a, this is insane. Yeah, I mean, we had one year where every main event fell off that year, and we had to, you know, do some switching around, and it's a nightmare, but we get it done.
Did you guys talk to Khamzat about, like, look, what exactly went wrong? What went wrong? Why did you miss weight? And then did you talk to him about, like, the fact he wasn't sorry and he was joking about it and stuff, you know?
Have we talked to him about what?
Have you talked to Khamzat, find out what went wrong with his
No.
weight cut, and did you
No.
think anything of him, like, he wasn't very sorry, he was joking about it online? Is that, like, it's obviously not very good, right?
Yeah, I mean, what should I talk to him about?
Be smaller.
You should be sorry, get smaller. I mean, it is what it is. It happened. Yeah, I mean, we'll go back this week, come up with a plan, and like I just told Kevin, probably have him fight at 180.
Dana, right here. How did you score the fight between Daniel Rodriguez and Lee?
I thought Lee won the fight.
And a lot of people thought Lee kind of got the short end of the straw because he weighed
He did.
170, Daniel.
He did. They're right, you're right. The judges were wrong, in my opinion. It wasn't even like I was like, wow, that could have gone either way. I was shocked when they said split decision.
Is there an update on Chris Barnett? Looked like something was wrong with his face when he was leaving in the prelim.
Yeah, he was discharged, right? Yeah, he was discharged. He's fine.
But there was nothing, like the commentary thought there was like nerve
No,
damage.
He had a nasal fracture.
And what did you make of the Irene Aldana knockout? First time you see a kick to the liver off her back.
Yeah, I didn't realize what happened until I saw the replay, and I thought maybe she broke her rib. And then, yeah, that was pretty impressive.
What do you do with Tony Ferguson moving forward? Do you want him to stay at welterweight? Do you want him to go back down to lightweight?
I don't know. Right here, right now, I don't know.
He had also said at Media Day that a tough season between him and Khabib was actually greenlit by everyone, and they're just waiting on Khabib.
That what was greenlit?
A season of The Ultimate Fighter between him and Khabib. He said that it was greenlit by everyone, and they're just waiting for Khabib.
No, I don't think we said we... Did I say we greenlit it?
That's what Tony said at Media Day.
Oh. Yeah. We haven't even started talking about The Ultimate Fighter yet.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
How early yesterday did you guys know that Khamzat was going to miss weight, and how early did you guys start to kind of try to figure out what to
We
do?
didn't know till he would... Well, I mean, we knew he was having trouble cutting weight early. Yeah, what time? I mean, what are you asking me?
Yeah, I mean, before he waited, you guys had an indication
Yeah,
that he may not
right.
make weight. So already you guys are kind of scrambling to try to figure out what would happen if he missed weight and what you guys would do?
Well, wasn't that we were scrambling if he was going to... We knew he was going to miss weight. The doctors went up to see him. When the doctor goes up and the doctor calls the fight off, if you're dancing around the question that there was some conspiracy theory that...
No, not
Okay,
at all.
because
Not
there's
at
some
all.
fucking
Of course.
lunatics...
No.
on the internet that think that this was all staged and planned and whatever. If you think that the crazy dudes that we had here this week could be orchestrated into something that would be, you're literally out of your mind. Yeah, this all happened, and we had to deal with it, and I just couldn't wait to get tonight over with.
And then what are the conversations like with Nate and Khamzat yesterday? Because obviously Nate was like, I'm not fighting that guy if he's that heavy. So what are those conversations like?
Yeah, well, we knew as soon as he wasn't going to make weight that the fight wasn't going to happen.
Right.
You know, forget about Nate. The athletic commission wouldn't have let the fight happen at that big of a weight discrepancy. So, yeah. So you immediately start getting to work, figuring it out.
What are those guys saying to you? Like, what is Nate saying? What is Khamzat saying? As far as like what happens next? Like when you're discussing like what the next day is going to look like, who they're going to be fighting. What are they saying? Are they agreeable? Are they not agreeable?
I don't want to fight. Listen, they're going into something like that. There's obviously a lot of emotions and you know, you got guys that are cutting weight, and you know it's always it's always work to get it done, and you just got to put in the time, walk these guys through it, and it's not fun. It's not fun on this side, but you get it done.
And then just last thing for me with Nate, is this just like another kind of chapter in the weird like Diaz lore? The week starts, Khamzat's the opponent. The week ends, and he's submitting Tony Ferguson in front of a sellout crowd. I mean, just another kind of chapter in that crazy book that those two brothers have written.
Yeah. Yes.
Dana,
Hey,
right over
can you
here.
expand on that, Dana, please?
What's that?
Can you expand on that?
No. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It's just, this is a crazy business, man. It's a crazy business that we're in. And that's why everybody's always asking me about, what are you going to do to this guy? And what are you going to do to that guy? And what are you going to do? You guys don't know 90% of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's the business that we're in. This is a crazy business. It's a tough business. It's not as easy as it looks. That's why all these guys that say they want to get into the fight business. Careful what you wish for. Not as easy as it looks.
Dana, question on the business there. Is there a risk that Conor against Nate 3 might happen outside of the UFC now that Nate is out of contract?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
That's not something that keeps you awake at night, no?
Not much keeps me awake at night anymore.
They have two of the biggest pay-per-views in UFC history.
Should that keep me awake? No, it doesn't. Not much keeps me awake anymore. We roll with it, man. I've been doing this for a very long time, and we roll with the punches, pun intended.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana, right over here, in the back, in the middle.
Yeah.
With Irena's performance, a lot of people are talking about, did she just lock in a potential title shot against Amanda Nunes at 35? I just wanted your thoughts. I mean, is there competition between her and Ketlin to see who would get the next one, or did Aldana do enough?
We love Aldana. I don't know what we're going to do next, but, like I said, we don't make fights the night of the fights, but, she looked great. She's awesome. We love her. What an incredible way to finish a fight tonight, and we'll see what's next for her.
To clarify something you said earlier, you say you like Khamzat at 180. Are you talking about more catchweight fights for him, or do you mean a full move up to 185 middleweight?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Thank you.
No more catchweight fights.
Dana, to your right,
Yeah.
down here. Chris Barnett had one of the more exciting opening rounds of the card tonight. Was there any discussion of giving him any fight of the night bonuses?
Who? Who did what?
Yeah. Oh, was he not eligible because he had missed weight? Is that what?
I know.
Yeah, that's a bummer for
He
that
missed
guy.
weight,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna
Good to see about him.
take care of him. I'll do a little something for him.
Great. So after the card was changed and the main event was changed, how much of a bump did you see on social media in terms of how this fight was trending? And what happened at the box office? I know that there was an offer for ticket refunds.
Yeah, I actually was talking to Ioli about that this morning. So whenever the main event changes, you can refund tickets. Not only was not one ticket refunded, the day that all the craziness was going on, we sold 250 tickets that day when it didn't even know what was going to happen or how it was going to go. So, and like I announced when I came in, it was our 25th consecutive sellout, $5.67 million gate, and the pay-per-view killed it.
There's some chatter online about Khamzat meeting Colby Covington. Any possibility of that happening?
I don't know. After he just didn't make weight, I don't know. But obviously there's a lot of possibilities for him, possibly at 170 or at 185.
Final question for me. You had a very successful fight in France, and there are cities in the United States and countries around the world that are opening up post kind of this COVID haze. Where's the next city, whether in the United States or around the world, that the organization is looking to get into?
Yeah, we literally just had a meeting the other day, and we're talking about, we're seriously talking about Africa now. We're actually starting to look at venues and cities to hold an event. So Africa is going to happen very soon.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah.
Just two quick ones from me. To piggyback off her question about Colby, is Colby's legal situation getting in the way of booking a fight for the remainder of 2022?
No. We were talking to Colby last week.
So there's a possibility he can return this year, right?
Yeah.
And then there's rumors about Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal, and Gilbert's been very vocal about that fight. So is that something that you'd be interested in booking?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, to your right.
Hi.
Were you surprised about the reception that Khamzat got? He was booed out of the building, basically.
That Hamza got? No. Our fans are crazy, man. If you don't make weight, I mean, this is how it goes when you don't make weight. These guys are all professionals. They're supposed to show up on weight, ready to fight, in shape, et cetera, et cetera. So no, I'm not shocked at all. I am shocked by how many helicopters there are around here.
They're looking to give Johnny Walker shoes.
Yeah. After he was thrown in the streets.
Dane, I know it tends to be crazy when you guys were trying to scramble to get these fights together. A lot of times we know it's money that tends to move the line at times. I know you will never tell us the numbers, but is there any particular fighter out of the 6 that maybe benefited the most with agreeing to take these new fights?
Is there a fighter that benefited the most from what?
Money-wise, like who got the biggest bump for agreeing to switch fights?
Who got the biggest bump? Well, these guys all have deals.
So none of the money changed for them to switch the fights? They just took the deals going in?
Everybody has a deal.
Thanks, Dane.
Yeah. You done with me? Thank God tonight's over. Have a good one.
Daniel, over here. First of all, congratulations on the victory. I'm just wondering what were your thoughts when the scorecard read split decision? Dana was in here and he thought it was pretty obvious that you had won.
Hearing it was a split decision, I definitely thought, it's a close fight. It's a really close fight, and I thought I did more in the later rounds, and I picked up the pace a little bit more, and I did what I had to do to win the fight.
How much of that, the fight playing out, was it you just didn't have time to prepare? It was a completely different style of opponent. These have been going over all night, so we didn't have it. But how did the fight play out in your expectations, given you only had essentially less than 24 hours to prepare for a new opponent?
Yeah, there was no preparation for this guy at all. I mean, I barely had preparation for Holland. But like I said all the time, like I really don't have any preparation in any of my opponents. I just train really, really hard. And last minute switch up was definitely no preparation. We just knew that he hit hard, and we just went out there and just stick to the plan.
And what was the last 24 hours like for you when you got the call that you're going to have a new opponent? He weighed in 10 pounds lighter than you, different style of opponent. So what was the process over the last few hours?
I wasn't sure if he was going to take the fight, considering that I did weigh in at 9 pounds heavier than him. But when he did, I mean, I was happy that he accepted the fight. I mean, I've been looking to fight for it's been a while. I'm coming off a year layoff, and against an opponent like that it was a crazy situation. But like always, I mean, I'm like I said before, I'll fight anybody. That's why I stepped up to fight Holland, and I stepped up to fight this guy. So it really makes no difference on who I fight.
And were you able to say anything to him after? I know there might be a language barrier, but what were you saying to him in there after?
No, it was all respecting, man. It was like more of like thank you and you know, you're a good dude. Like he showed 100% respect. You know, I could tell like, you know, he's a good dude, and it was all just all respect and love, and we just, you know, went out there, had fun.
And what did you make of the main and co-main event fight, Kevin's performance against Khamzat, and then Nate Diaz's big win over Tony?
Yeah, I was really surprised. Kevin Holland was, you know, just completely dominated the way it was. You know, it's kind of interesting to see, considering we were supposed to fight, but then again, like that was, you know, he had a whole different fight in mind when it came to me. You know, I didn't really have time to prepare for Khamzat's fucking crazy takedowns and shit, but yeah, that was interesting to see, you know, moving forward, because I won my fight and you know, he lost. Obviously that puts us in different areas, you know, me climbing up the ranks with Lee being ranked number 11, so I'm interested to see where I sit at in the rankings, and you know, I just want to keep climbing, and you know, it doesn't even matter if it's a ranked opponent who's next or not, but yeah, kind of like it changes a little bit that he lost and I won, you know.
I know this fight was at 180, but you do fight in the welterweight division. What went through your mind when you heard Khamzat came in 8.5 pounds over and then was kind of made light of it, was making jokes online, giving the finger on the scale? What was going through your mind when you heard all that?
Man, I was surprised. I mean, I don't know how he could like flip off the crowd and like just, you know, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I'm not a fan of that style or that kind of person, being unprofessional and not having any remorse for the people that do come in on weight, do their job, and you know, yeah, I just don't respect that.
Hey, Daniel, back here. Obviously, you know, with everything going on and the history with Holland, was there a part of you that was a little disappointed that you didn't get to, you know, trade gloves with him tonight?
I mean, I wanted to fight him. I mean, this fight with him was supposed to like just kind of get past it. You know, this is the second time already I've been scheduled to fight him, and it doesn't happen. All the trash talk back and forth is just getting old. You know, I want to just get that shit over with already. But yeah, like I said, me winning and him losing kind of changes things. You know, so I mean, I'm moving forward. And so that's all I gotta say about that.
I saw that you had said that, hey, you know, you're trying to ride, you know, with the Diaz train, and that you might have been the first one to light up at the press conference. Did all the drama kind of just cancel those plans, or were you still looking to do it when you got out there on Thursday?
Man, I wanted to do it, but like I said, like I mean, like as everybody knows, shit got all crazy back there, and yeah, it kind of fucked up the whole press conference or whatever. But I got my chance to shine a little bit, so I ain't tripping.
Now, I think a lot of people looking at this style like, oh, you know, Rodriguez is a striker and all that. Are you excited as you fight these bigger and more higher ranked opponents about showing more of your game and showing just how complete of an athlete you are out there?
Yeah, I just like a little bit more time to prepare, like a fight camp or prepare or whatever, you know. But like I said, this last minute opponent kind of switch up was kind of one of the situations where we both didn't know what to expect out of each other. You know, I knew he was a heavy hitting striker, and he knows I'm obviously a striker, and yeah, the fight didn't even go to the ground really, other than, you know, me slipping or whatever, a little takedown. Yeah.
Who's gonna have a better season this year, the Rams or the Lakers?
Just the Lakers all day. Let's go.
Congrats, man.
Daniel, over to your left. What is the hardest thing, like when you train for a guy like Kevin that you know is going to strike with you, and now you get a guy that, you know, has wrestling background? What is the hardest thing about going in and fighting like that with no preparation?
The hardest thing I would say is just, it's not really hard much. It's just like not knowing what to expect, really. I mean, you never know what to expect in a fight, but like to have like an idea of going in there with a longer range striker, you know, with the more threat and as far as jiu-jitsu goes, to like a kind of shorter opponent and who like kind of wings his punches like really wide. You know, I just gotta like goes to like one of those things where you just gotta have a real good fighter IQ and figure it out as the fight goes.
D-Rod, congrats on the win. And shout out to that Monster sponsorship. You're all, color coordinated, right?
Oh yeah, that's my style.
You guys were both welters, same catch weight. But man, there was a difference physically in that bout. You looked like a straight up middleweight. Did you feel good in there? Were you loose? How was that cardio?
Yeah, my cardio felt great. It felt really good actually. I felt like I didn't gas out much. I just, it's been such a long time. I felt like I had a slow start coming into the first round, but once I got warmed up and I got loose, I was able to knock off the ring rust. It's been like a year, so I feel like that's kind of like a reason why like the fight was so close is like me having a slow start in the first round. But I knocked off that ring rust and I'm ready to get back in there.
You kind of touched a little bit about it on the media day, but you had Tony, Nate, Martinez, Irene, Mexican American. Did that give you a little bit more oomph, or you just get up for fights no matter what, or how close we are to Mexican independent?
Oh no, it felt really good to have Diaz and Ferguson and Martinez, and like everybody, all the Mexican Americans on the card. Of course, I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm real heavy in my culture. Mexican American, and the whole style feels really good. This being one of Diaz's last fight in the UFC, I wanted to wanted to shine a little harder than I did, but I pulled off the win, and that's all that matters.
Right on, man. And last for me, in case the opportunity comes up, we need a replacement, yada yada. How realistic now is it to go to 85 and 70, or you're gonna just stay at 70 regardless? You're gonna just
It all depends on the opponent as far as 85 goes, because there's some 85ers that are big as hell, and there's some, fighters like Holland or like myself that are like, have to cut a lot of weight to get to 70. It all depends on the opponent, man.
Right on. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Hey, D-Rod, you're right. You're most likely going to take Li Jingliang's number 14 ranking on Tuesday. How does that make you feel?
It feels good, man. It feels good to get a ranked name under my belt. My name was in the rankings before my injury, and I felt like people kind of forgot about that. But since I hadn't fought in such a while, my name kind of just moved down a couple spots. It's gonna feel really good to see my name back in there.
And with your nightmare hand injury that forced you out for almost all year, how did it feel in there?
Oh man, there's no problems at all. I'm glad I took the time and had patience this time around to let it heal properly.
And finally, most of your fights have been on short notice in the UFC. Do you want your next one to kind of have like a good 3-month fight camp? Like, what are you looking at?
I mean, yeah, that ideally, I'd love a full fight camp, but since my injury, like my main goal was really to get back into shape and be in good enough shape to like be able to take a fight in 2 weeks' notice. That is the plan. The plan is like to take a week off. Obviously, my legs kind of like banged up a little bit, so it's gonna be hard to start moving early. But I'll take a week off and then get right back to it. I got my teammates I got fights coming up, and I want to be there for them. And I'll be ready to take any short notice calls. I mean, this is the second 24-hour notice fight I have under my belt. So yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Khamzat to your left, over this side, the other side. Just curious how happy you were to squash the beef with Kevin Holland to start with, to get that out of the way.
Насколько ты был счастлив, что все это закончилось с Холландом? Что вся ваша потасовка с Холландом закончилась таким образом?
What should I say? I don't know. So, the guy actually a nice guy, so I like him, you know. So sometimes we don't like each other before the fights. It's all normal, I know. Then we're coming for the war to kill each other. So now this war, like if he wants, like he can come to my gym and be one of us. And he's a nice guy, he's a good guy, tough guy, you know. He has a lot of things to learn. So yeah, he's one of the warriors. I'm happy. I'm winning my fight, so I'm going home like with my money.
Did it bother you when you debuted on the UFC in Fight Island? Everybody was happy to see you. They were excited. They talked about you. You heard the reaction tonight. The fans were not happy with you. How did that make you feel? Were you angry at that? Were you sad, or did you not care?
You care about that shit? I don't care. I care about my family. I care about my career. I care about my money. So what now? The people don't live with me now. One day they're with me, one day they're not with me. So I'm real guy, so I love the people who is real, you know, not the fake people like going one way or going the other ways, you know. So yeah, I'm not honest with you guys. Not me is happy about that shit. So my weight wasn't like that big, that over. So the guy said to me like, I have to go and a doctor like you have to do it. So I was so bad that night, so I was like so mad as well. I was thinking like without fight I just have to go fly back, didn't fight. So I was thinking what's gonna happen now. So I want to fight and get to Vegas. I did a lot of work for that, so I want to fight Diaz. I said I don't care about that. My money is almost like I don't know how much money, is a lot of money. I said give all my money to that guy, let him just fight with me. If he is talking about like I'm the gangster on that shit, you know, like you don't care about the weights. Yeah. And they want to jump on me. And when I was one there, so backstage, there was 10 guys. Yeah, I didn't give up, so I want to fight them. If they come forward, it's like I want to fight them, you know, one alone. So I don't care about that. So weights on this shit, you know. I cut my weight to 170 because my coach wants. So I want to be one of the best guys in the world and take like 3 belts, you know. So that's why we're doing that. So we're going back home. So we'll see what my coach say. I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna go for everyone there as well.
You said in the beginning of that answer that you care about your career. Dana made the point up here, you know, you missing weight that, you know, you might have to fight at middleweight. You know, he didn't make that decision, but he said that might be something to consider. What is it, if you lose out on a welterweight title shot because of this weight issue, will you kick yourself for that? Will you be angry at yourself because of that if you don't get the welterweight title shot?
To who they're gonna give that?
Well, I mean, they were basically saying...
Who is the next there? Everyone lose the fight. So
right, but I think they're saying that...
Colby lose like 3 fights in a row. Masvidal lose. When he wins last time against the Diaz, you see Diaz fight, so terrible. That guys, tall guys, how you that kick people, I don't understand. Thinking about they can win against me. That guy, Kevin Holland, tough guy, stronger guy, he's much better than Diaz, you know, like if Diaz him high fighting, Holland will kill him, you know. So I finished that guy and so easy. First round, I don't know, second minute, I was there. So yeah, Diaz has to thank God he didn't fight me. So
I don't think that what they were saying, maybe you're misunderstanding. I know there's a language barrier, so I just want to be clear. They're not saying you're not good enough. Everybody knows you're good enough. I think the question was, are you reliable enough to make the weight when you have to? Because if you came in 178 at a title fight, that would screw the whole card up. And so I guess that's what they're referencing. Does that part concern you, or do you think you could make 170 at other points in the future?
Of course, I did that before. Why not? So we'll see. I don't know. I said to you, like, I'm gonna go back and listen to my coach. If he said go 170, we go 171. He says heavyweight, we go heavyweight. So I don't care. I do my training camp and how he says, we train hard, never stop. I'm gonna go back like after tomorrow, going back and directly going to the gym. So I have nothing to do, only gym is my life. I don't know, I'm scared about like when I finish my career, what I gonna do. So I'm not that guy, so sitting on the writing stuff, and I'm not good at that shit. I wanna fight till I die, so we'll see.
Last question. You said you thought Diaz basically looked terrible in there. You don't like him. I could tell you didn't like him. Were you disappointed you didn't get the shot to beat him up, given how you feel toward him?
What?
Were you disappointed that you didn't get the chance to beat Nate up, given how you feel toward him?
Yeah, but if I fight him, like, hell, I would kill him, you know. I would be in the jail, so maybe I have to be happy. So what? No, what?
Khamzat, a lot of fans seem to think that Kevin was reaching out for a glove touch at the beginning when you went in for a takedown. Did you see that, or are they just making things up on the internet?
What?
Много фанатов говорят, что он пытался дотянуться, перчатками прикоснуться в начале, как бы как спортсменшип, да? Но ты сразу пошел на тейкдаун. Тебе казалось, что он к тебе тянулся с перчаткой, или ты этого не видел?
I don't understand. How are we gonna see that when I take off his head? I'm gonna watch his hands. So I wasn't watching on the head, you know, where is his head? So I don't know. So always people find some funny things to say. I don't know. So you want to go back, we're going back and squeeze his head off again. So yeah, I said to him as well, he's a young guy, I'm a young guy, maybe we'll meet again. The other way he can come down to Sweden and I help him, you know. So.
And then you had said a few minutes ago that you would have killed Nate if you would have fought. But when you're watching that fight and you're seeing him turn around and put his hands on the octagon fence and kind of joking around with Tony Ferguson, what are you thinking when you're watching this in the moment?
Did you see a real fight? Did you see that fight? Did you see guys that fight? Did you see how they kicks, how they punches, how they wrestle, how they grapple? Do you see the guys is old? I'm a young guy, I'm the killer. So I don't understand what the people talking about. I know, I understand. These guys from USA, he's home, this is his home. The guys like him. Okay, make that fucking fights in my country. You will see. You will never will find some guy who will like Diaz there. So nobody gonna say Diaz name there. If we say it, they will kill them, you know? So what? What now?
Hey, Khamzat back here. In that fight, once again, another fight, you did not take one punch, one hit. Fans wonder just, are you aware of that? As you're going through and you're trying to do what you do, does it occur to you, this guy didn't touch me again?
I don't care about that. If I get the patch, I like that. So, what? So, sometimes happen like that. Sometimes I get the punch, bleed, sweat. You know, sometimes don't sweat, don't get the punch. You know, it's some kung fu shit. I don't know.
When you're in a fight like this, everything's working for you, a lot of transitions, but you're controlling most of it. What's going through your mind? Do you feel just like you're in a special place mentally, or is it just, you know, I just feel normal, I'm used to it?
I feel alive. When I'm in troubles, I feel alive. When I win my fights, I feel alive. When I'm fighting, I feel alive. You know, like when somebody don't like me, I feel alive. You know, so it's my life being going up and down. So lambada, you know.
As you've become more famous, as you've become more noticeable, you're obviously one of the biggest names on this card. Just what do you most like to do with the attention and enjoying it?
Watch the they put. I was watching in the Instagram. You see Instagram. Watch the weigh in, and it has the cifra. Who say man? Most views.
Yeah.
Watch them how much most views Diaz has, I has. Then you understand who is the most star here. Which one is like people want to see, you know. And I had almost 8 million something. Like he has 6 million. Like I jump over and 2 head on him, you know. So yeah, this is the answer for everything. People can say, well, we doesn't want to watch this fight. He's the liar, you know. Everyone want to watch my fight, you know. Everyone want to see killer, you know. Yeah, not that smoking shits, and drug dealers here, So I'm professional athletes. Yeah, it didn't happen. Like I'm not happy with that shit because, yeah. So why are you laughing? What should I do? Want to crying? So what? Yeah, this didn't happen. So we're going to next. I was happy. I didn't know I was gonna fight, so that's why I was laughing. Yeah, I was happy. I still fight.
My final question: do you like all of the attention, or do you wish you could walk down the street without somebody telling you to smash somebody?
What?
Нравится ли тебе все внимание, которое тебя посвящают, или тебе хотелось бы просто быть нормальным человеком, который может пройти по улице, и никто тебе не будет говорить: «О, давай, смэш его».
Yes, of course. Sometimes you wanna be like, no, I always wanna be like, so like I've been before. So in the cage, yeah, I different person. Like I become a warrior. Like come something out for me, And after the fight, I become normal Khamzat. So I wanna like one thing doing that shit, doing these things, like going to cage and get the punches, give the punches, and it's not healthy. It's like like making weights and doing these things. My plan is make so much money and then help somebody. So I'm been almost I've been like 5 years on some room. Like small room. Nobody here. I don't think so. Has been there. So yeah, I want to help some guys become something bigger. Like take his dreams. If I could help them, so I would be happy.
Congrats.
Khamzat, with Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards booked for their trilogy until next year, what fight makes most sense for you next? A Colby Covington, maybe a Robert Whittaker up at middleweight? Like, what makes sense to you?
Who's it, Robert?
Robert Whittaker?
I like that guy, so I just want to fight the good guys, I need some bad guy, so I want to fight some bad guy, and don't feel sorry for that. So I want to train with that guy. He's really good, like, one of the best guys in the world. See, I was watching his fights. I've wanted it for this sport, I'm a big fan. So I watch all things. I watch how he trains on these things. And yeah, a lot of guys want to fight me. So Robert never said something bad about me. There's a lot of guys talking shit about me. I gonna go take their heads off, So we'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any of you guys want a mint?
Thank you, sir.
It's fucked up.
Tony, just to start with you, how much difficulty was it? You prepared for Lee to fight Nate. You know, Nate has a unique style. Was it difficult to make the change given the short notice?
Right-handed to southpaw? Yeah, a little bit. We were more than ready for anybody to step up to the plate. Listen, my corner went for the shot. Should have kept it standing. You know, little details to expand on and to grow from. Nate's a game fighter. Can't say anything else like that. It's not like he's old and slow and stuff. You know what I mean? So hopefully the crowd at UFC 279 that was there and present got some blood splattered on him or something. You know what I mean? So I had fun in there.
I wanted to ask you about your leg. I mean, you kept kicking with that thing. You had a pretty bad gouge in it. Did you get stitches? What was going on with it?
I didn't even realize it was open. I think my right leg was a little bit more hurting. My coach before, my old coach, Coach Billy, said kick the inside of his legs like how you did with RDA. And I knew that too. I started kicking his arms. We were trying to slow down his boxing a little bit. My boxing was starting to make more sense as I got into it. Little details, man. Like I said, just getting in that zone. I just started sparring again, probably maybe 2 months ago. You know, this was probably my 6th time in front of somebody or 5th time in front of somebody. So the game is still interesting to me. We had a game opponent. Short notice, no bullshit, but it was a crazy week, man, and I'm excited about it. My shins don't hurt. I think his legs might hurt a little bit, but put some ice on it.
I wonder, you know, as a guy, you had that, 12 or 13 fight winning streak, and you were at the very top of the mountain for a long period of time.
I'm still at the top of the mountain,
and
brother.
I want to ask you, you know, you fought nothing but great fighters, but what does it feel like when you see all those L's in your column, and does it shake your confidence in yourself?
Are you glad sports are back on in the world?
Sorry, say it again?
Are you glad sports are back on in the world?
Of course.
Well, say thank you then.
Thank you, Tony.
Well, you're fucking welcome. So that's what I'm going to say, dude. I mean, when it comes down to an L, it has to go in what's been put on the table. Putting sports back on in the world, setting an example for these youngsters to not quit, to go in there and fucking not give a shit and take the next fight that's on the land. So I'm going to be real. I don't see any L's. I just see growth. The last 4 fights that I had before this one, I'm going to be real, I was sandbagging. I really wasn't doing anything. My wife called me out. You know, I found a good team. I found a good, most fucking motley crew of people that we could have put together. We made fucking noise. I mean, it was fun as shit, dude. I'm going to be real. From wildcard boxing to over in Albuquerque, of Jackson Wink to Black House, to my buddy Kalen Walsh, and, you know, my family, obviously, first and foremost, God, and my fucking wife on a 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just been a trip, man. I'm still fucking glad to be here, so I hope you guys are amused for that shit.
And last question for me on that. Just talk about the decision to go for the takedown. What did you see, and you know, at that point when you went for that takedown?
I should have kept it standing. Period. Got to discuss some things with my cornerman. Nothing bad. Nobody's getting fired. Nobody's doing fucking bad. It's just some adjustments, man. This is a new game for me. It's mixing it up, putting the MMA together. My last guy, Lee, was a right-hander. If I would have went for the takedown, it would have been on his lead. It would have been a little bit more difficult for him to do that kind of stuff. But Nate, he prepared for Khamzat. You saw Khamzat when he took down Kevin Holland. He went, took him out on the right side. It was a right-handed opponent that was on his lead jab. He went straight and put him down. Guarantee you, Nate was looking for that guillotine the whole entire camp. They had a full camp to be able to do stuff. I mean, it is what you practice. And we did a lot of wrestling practice, and we did a lot of good stuff. It was just unfortunate, man. Shit happens. Wish I would have made it to the 5th round. You know, I know what to do better next time. Fucking sucks.
Tony, over here. It was obviously a very good fight, but there were moments when Nate was like, he would turn his back to you, he'd put his hands up on the cage, he would point at you.
I laid down on the floor, bro.
So it seems like you guys were having fun in there, but what were you guys saying during the fight?
We didn't say nothing. We were just, I mean, I kicked him in the shit and he was like, ow. And you know what I mean? It was just like a lot of just having fun. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I haven't had a fight like that ever. It was the coolest experience I probably could have had, being in front of everybody, being the most calm, super chill, bringing it out there. I mean, there was a lot of quick finishes before, so it wasn't like we got a shitty warm-up. You know, although when I go in the back and I put my hoodie on, it was like an extra small. You know, so it was kind of like weird, but like I said, it's like none of this stuff matters. It's what you do outside of there. And seeing the crowd, seeing Hunter, seeing everybody that was like right there, it was dope, dude. It felt like I was back in where I needed to be. And I haven't felt like that, ladies and gentlemen, for a fucking long time. Pardon my language. You know, mentally strong, physically strong, emotionally strong. I feel good. I'm ready for the next one.
And you had mentioned you were obviously Lee's heavy-handed, right-handed. Nate is a volume puncher, southpaw. But you also went from 3 to 5 rounds. Did you feel it in there in the fourth round? Any?
Not really. I mean, we were prepared for 3 rounds, but I've been in this sport for a long time, especially with the UFC. I've been employed by the UFC since 2011. I fought 6 times in 2011, like literally, and then I can fight all the damn time. I'm gonna be real. If there's a game opponent, we have plenty of time. Obviously, not taking short notice fights. But being game for the company, being able to do this. And then, like I said, these younger generations, they see guys like me, they see guys like Nate, and they see us stepping up. Can we fucking quit making so much noise? So look, put it this way. I have a lot to learn. I have very little ego when it comes to learning. I listen to my coaches, I listen to my training partners, I listen to my trainers, my cornermen. And I have a few things to work on. So as far as the volume and the punches go, when I made the switches, I was collecting them, man, and the inside leg kick was working.
Will you stay at welterweight? I know you said at media day I think you were 14-2 at welterweight. This one was there. Are you going to stay there?
Oh, man, I hang my hat at 2 different places besides home. I'm going to be real. At 55 and at 70. At 70, it's been, 10, 11 years? I mean, shit, I was, 14-2 with mostly knockouts. My body literally just got used to it. I fought in May. I lifted heavy. I was taking some weight gainer protein, doing it right. 5 exercises a day, 3 reps apiece. You know what I mean? Doing it like old school, high school, man, football. And I enjoyed it. The fans and the supporters, my family even first. I mean, just it was a different me out there, and it's a different me right now. And I'm fucking thankful. Thank to God, man, that we both came out of there happy and healthy.
And finally, you obviously said you have a lot of respect for Nate. Nate has a lot of respect for you. This was his last fight on his deal with the UFC. What would you like to see him do after this?
I got the invite to their camp. So I'm going to be real, which is super cool. I got my own camp, which is awesome, but I'm not going to say no to them. Those guys are pretty fucking cool. I mean, we run California, you know what I mean? And we do a lot for this sport. So as much as we would want to fight, we have to make things right, for the UFC and the contracts and stuff. But I wish them nothing but the best, him and Nick and their whole entire crew. They're tough, man, and it's cool as shit to be a part of that vibe that's right there. And like I said, Kukui's a legend. I'm not going fucking nowhere, man.
Tony, just to over here. First, how easy or difficult was the negotiations yesterday?
Say that one more time.
How easy or difficult were the negotiations yesterday?
Well, we didn't have the president calling Dana and Dana saying, "Hey, are you in, kid?" But when it went down to it, it was kind of like a reminder of the pandemic. You know what I mean? You got 2 Russians, like Nate said. You got Khabib, who ran away at me at UFC 209. And at the last one, I forget which number it was. It was like a whole bunch of them, right? And then you had Khamzat on purposely miss weight. I'm going to be real. Like, starting all that shit, it could have been a facade. So he could have fucking just whatever. I'm going to be real. But when it comes down to it, we're fighting in America. I'm an American citizen. I fight with fucking everything in my body for that red, white, and blue. You have no fucking clue, guys. I've been in sports for 34 years. And every single time that I went to an event, there was a fucking star-spangled banner. It was taking off your hat, putting it over your heart, and then fucking having respect for it. I fight for my nation. I fight for this company, and I fight for my heritage, and especially my family and God. And I'm very lucky to be able to do what I can do, man. I'm a very lucky guy.
And the other one, just curious, between rounds, you were reading something off the wristband of your coach. Is that strategic? Is that inspirational? What are you kind of getting from that?
That's for me and my corners, guys. It was kind of like Tekken. I don't know if you guys, anybody play Tekken? Anybody? Raise your hands.
When I was 9.
Okay, who's your favorite character? You don't even know his name is? You're a button masher, aren't you?
King.
King, all right, Armored King. Hey, but you know when you have the instructions like that's pretty much what I had on the stuff. It was like Morse code for me. So it was combos, some good inspirational stuff, and it's been something that I've done for a little bit. And you guys got a sneak peek of it. Put a patent on that bitch.
Tony, you were this was one of the craziest weeks in MMA, and you were part of that. So, and you touched on it a little bit with his question, but what was it like behind the scenes and leading up when they came to you, and did you know that they were going to come to you to?
I literally asked Nate if he wanted a mint right before he threw the bottle. As much shit as it possibly is, I was an old school bartender. If there was ever a scuffle inside the bar, you know what I mean, I would jump across the bar and I would just handle shit like a security guard. This fight and everything else was kind of like that. There was a bunch of random stuff just going on. For me, it was just trying to keep the peace, trying to stay focused, and these guys were making a whole bunch of noise. So I had to yell at Khamzat and Kevin to shut the fuck up, and they did for a second. And then here comes Nate and everything, and I was like, that's cool. He's all right. And so me and D-Rod were throwing the ball around, and here comes Nate. And then, like I said, I went up to him and asked him for a mint, or asked him if he wanted a mint, just to kind of just keep him chill for a second, man. We're like, hey, it's the calm before the storm right now. We don't need to be so hyped. And he did his shit, like I said, and he came over and got his mint. You know what I mean? If it wasn't, shit, I don't know how to explain it, man. Fighters, no fighters. Real fighters, no fighters. And I'm from the 805, he's from the 209, and I'm from the 231 as well. And shit, man, east, north, west, every fucking direction you can go, man. We're tough as shit here, and I really express that.
And you came out to the crowd after that happened, the scuffle backstage. Why did you come out to the crowd and
I just feel like so many people just come here, dude. It's just like so serious all the fucking time. I've been that way. You guys have seen me with these press conferences and everything. It's not old news. It's not great. It's just, it is what it is, I guess you would say. But like I said, just having fun, man. Just having that fun vibe, so that way people can enjoy the show. You know, I brought that baseball out there. I should have signed it before I chucked it. My son was like, why'd you throw it over there? I was like, oh, shit, fuck. Yeah, you know. Shit happens, which is cool. But it was for them. It was for everybody that was outside there, because I would have been bummed too. I would have been like, shit, man, we just walked that whole entire way in this hot-ass weather. Come on now. Get out there, say what's up, sneak up on stage like I was at a concert for a second. You know, cool. Never done that, so it was pretty cool and probably the closest thing I could do.
do you think, I couldn't help but think that this fight could have been for the BMF title.
It's for the CSO title, man. It could have been something, you know what I mean? I like the trophies, I like the medals, and I like the charts. Long time ago, I got burned out, and I started tearing my charts apart. I would take my medals and throw them in the woods, and I would get pissed at myself because I would be so burned out on the sport. I find a new passion for this sport, guys. From my heart, I really do, which is fucking crazy and incredible. Because, I mean, you think after 34 years, you would just get burned out on everything. But seeing you guys being up here at the press conference again, being able to do this, win or lose, that's a fucking honor, man.
Back here, Tony, even when you saw Nate throw the bottle backstage, did you even think that this card could be reshuffled the way that it was?
I wanted to give him the baseball, but I don't think he's as accurate as me. So you guys have seen me with the baseball. I get hit, so I get something. So I told him, what was your question? I forgot. I was having fun.
When you saw him throw the bottle, it was a crazy moment backstage. Did you even
really.
think that it could escalate to the fact that the whole main card was going to get reshuffled?
Not really. I'm gonna be real. I practice with D-Rod once in a while, you know, and then Kevin Holland's pretty cool. I think it was just a solid fucking main card, which was pretty dope. So I mean, even if they did shuffle it up, or look, put it this way, the matchmakers are fucking geniuses. It's not easy to do their job, guys. I'm gonna be real. The promoter's job to be able to do that, getting up on stage in the middle of the podium, that shit had me nervous even when I went out there for a second. I was just like, next question. So I want to be real. Like I said, you know, maybe I should have threw a bottle too. Fuck it, I don't know.
Last question for me. You found a new passion for the sport, and you just said you can do this forever. You can't do it forever, ever.
I can do it forever, lady.
What else in
I do
this
some of my
sport?
best work in the dark.
What else in this sport could you see yourself doing, Tony, if you're not a fighter?
I'm already going back to school for business in Harvard in about a month, in a couple weeks actually. So I kept my word, and I'm keeping my word. So you guys are like, well, he's gonna go back to school. Yeah, right. No, I'm going back to school. I'm going for my business credentials from Harvard, and my buddy Lloyd and Vitor Belfort, they're helping me with that. And after that, I'm gonna go back to school and get my PT. So I'm gonna keep my word like I've always have, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do this shit, and I'm gonna do that shit. It's like me going back to school in college. And competing in wrestling. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Hope you have fun.
Yes. No. No.
Next question.
Nate, to your left, congratulations. Where does this rank in your mind among your greatest victories in the UFC?
I like it because it was the finishing touch on my contract.
About just your performance and the way you mentioned you fought an OG in there, so the fact that you're beating a guy that you have respect for in Tony Ferguson and the way you did it, did that make you feel good?
Yeah, I'm glad I got the job done. Mission complete for sure.
What was your striking against him? You know, did you feel like you were hurting him a lot as you were opening up on him as the fight went along?
Yeah, I felt like the later I was gonna get, the better I was gonna get, and it started working out for me.
And I'll leave this last thing for me is in the octagon you said you want to show people how to do something in another sport, and then you left the door open to come back into the UFC. What is it going to be that would bring you back if you ever come back? Like, would it be that you see a fighter that you feel like you need to fight, or is there just, hey, I want to chase a championship? What would get you to come back after you do your thing?
I have no plans on being back in the UFC. I have no plans on not being back in the UFC. Did I say that? That's what I said.
Nate, right here. Tony said that you were obviously preparing for Khamzat, so you probably did a lot of grappling and wrestling, defense and everything. Obviously, Tony and you kept it standing. And when he shot in for a takedown, you grabbed that guillotine, and Tony was under the impression that he probably practiced this a lot.
I was about to snatch out a few times. Did you see him almost shooting? And I was like, I think get the fuck out of there. He didn't want to get caught in that. So when he was in, he was like, and what was the question?
Tony thought that you had practiced that so much that as soon as you shot it for a takedown, you were probably preparing for that for Khamzat when in your initial preparation.
In life, anybody shoots on me, they get choked. Con Gracie style.
Did you watch Khamzat's fight?
Tonight? Yeah, I was watching all the warming up.
What did you make of his performance?
Lame, scared, boring, rookie, whack, pussy, lame, dick sucker. all those things. Pull up tonight, excess, motherfucker.
A lot of people seem to think that he shot in under Kevin Holland was trying to glove touch, and Khamzat shot him for a takedown. Did you see that at all? Did you hear that?
I didn't see that part. I heard about it a little bit, though.
What did you say to Tony after the fight? We saw you guys talking as soon as you let go of the submission.
Just respect. He's been around a long time and fighting a lot of people, put on a lot of good performances, put on a lot of fucking crazy fights, took a lot of damage. People could act however the hell they want if they've been done shit like that to me. People are like, that person's crazy. This dude's doing that nowadays. I'm like, whatever. He put on enough wars to do whatever the fuck he wants. So it's respect. And I like anybody who could have a career that long, especially in the UFC with the toughest fighters in the world. That's the hardest job in the world. That guy should be $100 millionaire.
And a lot of people, I think, were surprised that you never finished the trilogy with Conor. Is that something you would consider doing outside the UFC without the UFC's involvement?
What? Just kidding. No, I would like to finish the trilogy for sure.
Would you do that in boxing or just in MMA?
Well, that would not be a trilogy in boxing. That would be a number one. So we could do some of those too. But I'm gonna go do what he tried to do and show him how to do it.
Will you be ringside for the Jake Paul Anderson Silva fight?
Where's it at and when is
It's
it?
October 29th in Arizona. Same arena you fought Leon.
Yo, Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, let me get some tickets ringside. Yeah, I'll go to that. That'd be sick.
Hey, Nate, going back to the trilogy.
Oh yeah, my boy Chris Avila's fighting on that card. Check, put the camera on Chris. There he is. Look at him. There he goes. Nah, he's fighting on the same card. So yeah, I for sure will be there. Hell yeah. What is the show called? They said my man. We don't.
Paul
fuck with
versus
that.
Silva.
Paul versus Silva. We coming. We watching you fight.
So Conor McGregor just recently tweeted about the potential trilogy, finishing the trilogy off. Did you see that tweet, and what was your thought about that?
Yeah, we're gonna finish that too.
Did he reach out to you personally outside of that tweet?
We supposed to fight, dog. I ain't talking to that motherfucker. What you talking about? Hey, how you doing? Want to fight, Andre? Fuck you, motherfucker. Don't you call my phone? Who gave you my number? That's how the call would go. Huh? What about you? You ever set up a fight with a guy on the phone?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe,
You never have?
Maybe he emailed you. I don't know.
I don't know how to read no email.
How did
I emailed you? I'm like, what are we gonna do with that? 1,000 people email me. I don't know how to even get in.
Maybe a TikTok. Maybe you did
You
a
better
TikTok.
text message me or write me on Instagram or some shit.
Who
Who else feels like that? Don't lie. Emails? You guys all take emails? I'm good.
Nate, go for it.
Going back to when Khamzat fell out, how did those negotiations go when they came to you about saving the show?
And what with me? What happened with me?
When Khamzat fell his weight and he wasn't going to be able to, how did that go, the negotiations to save the show?
I was like, you gotta pay me. If you want to switch people on me in one fucking day, I just cut 15 pounds. It made me change my opponent. You guys gotta give me more than you give any of the champions in this whole organization. They're like, stupid, we already give you. I was like, oh, well, more than that then. So
how much more did they give you?
I lost count.
Nate, fantastic performance tonight. You got the submission at 209. What does that mean to you? I mean, it's kind of crazy. You come from the 209, you got the submission at 209. What do you think?
I fucked up my leg fighting Tony. I blocked hella kicks, a fuckload of them, dude, and my leg blew up like humongous. And I put this fucking ice on my shin because I had a ball on my shin, and it dripped down my whole sock and sucked my whole fucking shoe. What the fuck? This is a soaking wet Travis Scott.
You're gonna need some new kicks.
Look at that. The hell? They should have gave us these to walk out in, huh?
Would you do a shoey in that?
That's gross. No.
Nate, down here on your right, how early yesterday did you know that Khamzat was gonna, miss weight, and what were those conversations like? Did you say immediately, like, I'm not?
I was in
fighting
the
next?
sauna on my last pound, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, whatever, let me fucking finish this up, and then we'll talk about it. My whole foot's wet. They told me, I was like, whatever, let's just get to weighing and then tell me whatever's happening after I eat and rehydrate. But I figured it. I was like, this motherfucker's scared. He got scared at the press conference. I knew that was gonna happen. People don't show up to spar me all the time.
And was Tony always going to be like the idea to fight, or was there any other possibilities?
I didn't think anything like that would happen, so I was just ready for that. But you would figure, right? If you're in the business for this long, I was like, okay, they got or Holland or they didn't want to let me fight Chang Li Man, that motherfucker had the dopest suit in the press conference.
I think his name is Li Jingliang.
Saying, you know what I was talking about. I didn't mean to do that to him. Did you guys see the suit?
It was dope.
Yeah, I felt bad for him with that one, though. They should have showed him love.
Was there any
They
possibility
didn't
that
show him a little love, huh? You seen him try to get in a press conference?
was there ever a chance that the fight would not happen at all, that you wouldn't have fought tonight? Was that ever a possibility?
I don't think they were gonna let it be possible, so I didn't think so at all.
Thanks, Nate.
Hey, did you guys know Mark Romani came and lived with me at the Trap House? Yeah, he likes sandwiches from Rayleigh's, wrapped up in plastic. We're like, we're gonna go eat. He's like, I got a chef in my house, my boy Romulo, Luciano Ramos. He's from Argentina and he fights all over the place, but he's dope. He lived in the Trap House with me. It's a little ass house that I got, and it's hella ghetto, but it's cool though. But it's fucking little trap house, and we smoke weed all day there and chill and kick it. And then Mark Romani came out to do a story, and he stayed at the house for a few days. And we were getting smoked all night. He was smoking so much weed. He was getting so high. I was like, come on, hit the ball. He's like, yeah, I'm hit the ball. And anyways, I'm just playing. He wasn't smoking weed, but we was just trying to make him smoke weed. And they mad. And then, dude, this is a soaking wet Travis Scott. But it was dope. It's dope. Shout out to Inside MMA. I'm sorry I didn't ask your question. I forgot what it was.
Inside Fighting. He always says
I'm
Inside.
sorry. I didn't mean to say
Inside Fighting. Appreciate it.
Inside Fighting. Shout out to Inside Fighting. I didn't mean to do you like that.
Nate, question
What was
back
the question, though? Did I answer your question?
You got the submission at 209. I just want to know what that meant to you. You know, what I mean, it's pretty cool. You're from
Yeah, that is cool. I didn't know that happened until my boy Chris showed me the picture, and it was dope.
What's XS looking like tonight? You know, for the fans watching, like.
We all going to excess. Mark Romani's coming. You guys should all come. We about to get out of here because my shoes soaking wet, and it was good to see everybody. Thanks for fucking the questions, and thanks to all the press for everything. Always love. All right.